You ready?
Yeah.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. You's a liar, I can smell it on you. Got the voice down packed, but your eyes are telling on you. Shame on you for stretching your mouth around shit that your heart knows.
Cute, right? All right, baby, we're back. Party with Strategy podcast, episode 38. Strategy and Dolo show. Club Killers.
You know the fucking vibes.
Bottle Blonde tonight. How excited are you for Bottle Blonde?
Oh, I'm ecstatic.
Is it not just heaven on earth? Like when you walk in there, it just brightens your mood. There's no way that it couldn't brighten your mood. It's a fantastic venue.
One would think that.
You know?
I mean,
you get that when you walk in, right? It's like butterflies. It's like love. Like love, the first time you experience love, that's what it's like walking into Bottle Blonde Houston every day.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
It's a nice way to make a living.
Like if there was a unicorn, it would live at Bottle Blonde Houston.
Maybe.
You think? It's like a fantasy land. It's just incredible.
I mean, it's a place you can go and DJ in your underwear.
It's true. It's true, ladies and gentlemen.
Which is becoming your thing very quickly, I've noticed.
Well, you know, I've been taking my shirt off a lot.
Didn't you DJ at Hush in your underwear too?
Oh, I wasn't in my underwear. I had my shirt off. And
are you going to be like the Kreischer, what's his name?
Bert Kreischer of DJ?
Kreischer of DJ?
Well, I don't know. I don't think that I could claim that as my own because I'm not the first guy to DJ with the shirt off. In fact, I remember
shout out to Trentino.
Well, Trentino's
Trentino
DJing Vegas pool parties with his fucking fit body. We've seen that. But even before that, Gordo used to get hammered and take his shirt off, like on his, like a yearly thing. It wasn't a regular thing at all.
It was like
this was like on his birthday. I remember like that was a thing. Like it was like, yo, Gordo's getting so drunk tonight, he's gonna take his shirt off. Like,
I've never seen Gordo that drunk. I mean, I've probably seen him drunk enough that he could take it off, but I've never actually seen him do it. So, okay, is that where your inspiration came from?
Well, I mean, I definitely remember that. So I wouldn't say that it inspired me ever because it was like. The reason for it was just being so drunk and crazy.
Yeah.
There was, you know what I mean? It's not like there's like a reason to try it. So I thought. Like from that instance, I never thought that. But now that I've been doing it, I really feel like there's something different. Because like, okay, imagine fucking a girl with your shirt on and a girl with your shirt off. It's so different. The way, like, if you're on top of her, you could feel all of her skin on your skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have your shirt off, it's not as deep of a connection. And we're fucking the crowd up there.
Yeah.
In a sense, we're doing, you know,
we've talked about this before. You got to warm it up and you know, get it wet, and then fucking you can't just slam it in.
Exactly. And
okay, I see where you're going with it.
I think that there's something there. There's maybe just that little tiny bit more of a connection that you get. Also,
I mean, I think maybe you're making it a thing because the other night, last night at Polecats, the girl was like, "Are you gonna take your shirt off?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna take my shirt off." What the fuck kind of question is that? You take your shirt off. It's your job, not mine. Okay, I'm gonna play music. And fucking, but then I was like, "Oh, she must be thinking because Strategy does it. That now it's a thing." So I've decided I'm gonna have my own thing, I'm gonna DJ with my dick out of the zipper of my pants.
The dick or the balls?
Just the dick.
Because I feel like the dick will get you in trouble. The balls is like,
balls
are good. Like balls are.
You sound like you've tried.
Well, I discussed it with Khalid. I discussed it with Khalid. You know, we went over the legalities of whether the shaft or the testicles could be out, and he said, you know, the testicles themselves are not an actual sex organ, you know, in the books. So
is that really true?
Yeah. No, I'm totally.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Don't. Someone's on here.
It sounds a little dangerous though. Putting your balls out of your zipper. I don't want to pull something about Mary and fucking. That could be very painful.
Yeah, that could definitely be. That was what a great movie when they showed it. When you didn't think they were going to show it. You didn't think they were going to show it, and then they showed it.
It definitely wasn't his real nutsack, right?
No. What? That would be.
That'd be
the
extremely
wildest,
painful.
no non-stunt man.
Well, let me tell you something. For the money that he probably made off that movie, I would definitely zip my ball sack up.
For the amount of money that Ben Stiller got paid from There's Something
He's probably
About
still
Mary.
getting paid off of that movie.
Yeah, but what if it was one of those like Friday deals where he kind of got fucked, you know?
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
And
that'd
he
be
got
kinda
like
shitty.
$20K. Because listen,
But then
if he got $20K and you'll zip your balls up for whatever he made off that movie, if we find out it's $20K, this is time stamped. Episode 38. I will have this is on video, G.
for $20,000, I might do it. I mean,
okay.
I guess legal fees could be involved because you.
What kind
I don't
of legal
know.
fees? You
Not
mean
legal
medical?
fees. Medical fees would be involved because I don't know how it works, but I gotta imagine there's some tearing going on.
Yeah, you're definitely mangling something. You may not come back out the way you went in.
How did we end up here?
That's the beauty of it. That's the wonder of the fucking podcast.
You know, we're
Let
just
me-
checking the medical.
Let me fucking reassure you how good we are at doing this.
Well,
Because I just watched William Montgomery, who's an amazing stand-up comedian. He opens on Kill Tony, or he's on Kill Tony all the time. Just started a podcast, right? So, and not to talk shit, even though I'm about to talk shit, because I like this guy. But I watched his podcast thinking like, oh, I like this guy. Let me see his podcast. I love podcasts. The man is not a great podcaster.
Right. I mean, everybody's got their something. I mean, clearly we saw stand-up is not yours.
Stand-up is not mine, right? And the same could be said. He
guess it
could
goes-
just do me like I just did him, for sure.
True.
But let me reassure you how fucking good we are at this.
I enjoy it. We've been doing it a while. Not just on this platform, but the
Just the in front of
we
a
were
camera.
podcasting before podcasts were
Yes.
podcasts. I will
Well,
say that.
not really.
Well, I mean,
Before
they
they
were
blew up. Before they blew up.
Before I knew what the fucking podcast was. Probably.
Yeah. We were on camera with
On
a fucking
Facebook
microphone
Live.
talking shit.
I do miss the live interaction. I will say.
Yeah.
It's nice because then it kind of throws a curveball in, because people will suggest things that you didn't think about.
Well, do we really need a curveball? I mean, we just ended up at zipping your nuts into a fucking jean zipper.
Yeah.
I don't we have the curveball.
You're right,
That's
you're
what
right,
I'm saying.
you're right.
Like we don't even need curveballs. We get there on our own.
You know what I need is a cut. I don't like seeing the reference monitor in front of me.
You
Getting
don't
a
like
little
that, huh?
self-conscious here. No, I'm just kidding. I don't give
You need
fuck.
a shot?
No, I do not need a shot. Not
gotta-
until 11:30 p.m. That's my
11:30 is the start time.
That's my start time. Like some people have a
Because-
curfew. I have a curfew to drink.
Because there's only one speed at which you drink.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control the speed, but you can control the time.
Exactly. When I'm sober,
So
I have
there's-
control over it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I need alcohol. It's like I know once I have the alcohol, there's no stopping the train. So let me just decide when the train departs.
And is that working?
It's
Is that a
been- yeah, it
manageable?
works.
Is that a manageable?
I fucking drink every
Attempt
night
at
at
it?
work, which is fucking 6 nights a week. So I'm 5 nights a week, whatever.
Hell yeah!
We're good.
Hell yeah! Now, tell me about your weekend. I got a lot to talk about. I was in Chicago. I went to like a faux high school reunion on
Oh, boy.
Friday
That
night.
sounds like
I seen some
A
people
lot more exciting
that
than
I
my weekend.
shouldn't have seen.
I don't have a
wasn't
lot.
a good one.
I mean, it wasn't a
Fawn-
bad one.
You and Fawn didn't make $2,400 extra dollars. on
No, we
Friday
did
night?
not make $2,400 extra dollars.
Did he win
unfortunately.
the who could play more gay game?
Yeah, I don't even think he knows he's playing, but he got it. He's a natural. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what he played. He played some shit, and I was like, I'm not into it today. I will say when we work together, it's a different dynamic. It's cool though. It's fun because like we play together so much that we pretty much know what each other's gonna play already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like when you play with someone different, it's like okay,
Yeah.
that's a song I wouldn't play. That's
For
cool.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you steal it from him.
and then you steal it. So I just Shazammed his entire set.
Yeah.
So expect a new routine tonight.
Conflict taught me something actually in Miami. I don't know if he's really going to want me to give this away to the
Well, you
three
probably shouldn't
viewers
have said
that we
his name.
have. But he told me that sometimes if he likes somebody's set, he'll put his phone in his pocket. He'll go in the voice memos and turn on record and just leave it in his pocket. So he's recording the set.
He probably did not want you telling our 3 viewers that, but
Well, he
that's
told
actually
me-
not a bad idea.
He told me that he didn't tell me that as some like sly shit. He told me that like as a tips and trick kind of thing. He's like, yo, this is what I do. You should do this.
Well,
kind of thing. So-
here's a little tip and trick. I've done once before. I would do it more, but I don't think to do it. I did it during a Vice, when Vice was playing back in the day. This is at Studio Paris. I put my phone on the auto Shazam, where automatically Shazam.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it still is, but it was then. And it auto Shazammed his entire set. And it was, Vice plays a pretty eclectic set. So I was like, they're all songs I knew anyways, but it's like, when you hear someone else play it, you're like, okay, I could play this. You know what I'm saying? Like, which sounds so fucking elementary, but like in your mind as a DJ, sometimes you know what works, so you stick to that. Mm-hmm. And like I might have all those songs in my crate, but I was like, man, I'm not gonna play this fucking, off-brand Bob Marley shit, which I feel like DJ needs to get back to, but that's a whole nother story. But I think
it's going.
You feel it?
I think it's shifting back.
I hope to God it is, because I'm so tired of fucking playing Drake songs.
I mean, yeah, it's not even at a place right now. Like it's just at a plateau, at like a dead stop. It's just like someone's got to die for somebody to be excited about a track that goes.
I know, isn't that fucked up?
And then a week later, they don't even care anymore.
No one gives a
fuck. Like if last week I played a Young Dolph track, the club goes insane.
Like he's fucking Michael Jackson, and now this week they're like, "What is this? This isn't
week,
Drake."
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't fucking matter.
But that's how it is, man.
That's how it is in our
world,
industry of nightclub DJing, which is why I'm for sure. I already decided I'm taking a night off from my DJ schedule, DJing in nightclubs, and I'm gonna DJ. I'm gonna throw a party.
You're gonna do some soul searching?
I'm gonna throw a party.
Okay. What night of the week is it gonna be?
I think it's gonna be Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
I think it's gonna be Thursday.
And is this once a month thing, or is this?
Nah, this is weekly.
Okay.
This is a weekly party that you could get high at.
Okay. Well, I don't know how long that's gonna
work
in Houston, but
we're gonna see.
What do you have a hookah lounge picked out or something, or what?
I think we got a venue. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Is this something you're doing with the Need More Space kids?
Yeah. No good.
No good.
Yeah. I think we're gonna throw a dope party. It's not at a venue necessarily. It's at like an event space.
Oh, okay. So I mean, yeah, I guess legalities.
Legalities
are in a place like Chicago. This would be like full blown, but you're still kind of playing on the fence. But I'm sure you could do it. You're not gonna be like, hey, this is a place to come smoke weed. But if you do, we're not gonna kick you out.
And also I think that we have to, if we do it at this space, it's got to be like, it can't really have good promo. It's kind of got to be like a word of mouth thing, which I'm sort of more excited about. Like, it's going to be a slow start, but once the word gets out, and then you got like an exclusive party, like that makes people want to go to it. You know what I mean? So with the fact that it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be fucking cool.
It's going to be a different market too, because you're not just catering to rich people who buy bottles. You're catering to people
catering
who want
to ourselves.
Come. Yeah, and
really.
to yourself.
That's what it is.
It'll attract people who are like-minded.
Like any thought about it ends at like, it doesn't really matter. We're doing it for us.
Yeah. So this isn't like a let's get rich if we do this. It's
not at all.
It's a soul searching thing. I dig
not
that.
Even soul searching.
Not soul searching, but yeah. Well, I mean,
you're just
as an artist,
sound old.
No. I mean, like as an artist, this is something that you do for your love.
For the love, but like I don't even necessarily feel that way because I haven't started it yet. I feel like once it starts, and then you have something to feel that love through. I'll feel like that, but at this point, it's just like. On Thursdays, the last thing I want to do is walk into a nightclub. Every fucking Thursday. I'm like, I want to kill myself before I have to walk into a nightclub. So let me stop that feeling.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stop that. And then once I stop that feeling, I think I'll feel the love of like, oh, we're fucking this and that. Like, I just want to love DJing again. You know what I'm saying?
I know the feeling. And it's one of those things. It's like you want to make a living, you know what I'm saying? But you also need to have sanity. I don't want to hate my job. I didn't become a DJ to fucking hate what I do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I do feel like that. But that's,
At there's like levels to it because at a certain point it's like it's a job and any job is gonna get like that. You put a monetary value on anything,
Yeah.
it's gonna just be that. It's
Yeah.
just a monetarily valued thing.
Right.
So there's that.
When you do it for the love, but then the money comes in secondhand, but that it's enough to live off of, that's when you're happy.
Yeah.
No, and that's what DJing's been for the longest. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, I still would rather be DJing and hating it than working in an office. But you're right. At the end of the day, for how much grind we put into this to really make it happen, you should be doing something you love.
100%.
And I'm happy for you, buddy.
Gotta fucking do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's why I have hobbies outside of DJing.
Yeah. I saw you bouncing around in your bouncy car this
I was
this
bouncing
week.
in my bouncy car today before I came here.
How was it? Is that
Fucking that's like my like obviously being with my family makes me very happy, but like
Yeah,
by
what-
myself, I'm in another like I'm in a different fucking dimension when I'm behind the wheel of the lowrider.
But what
When
if you
I'm-
can only choose one?
Well, I'm gonna choose my family because
Are you sure?
yeah,
You sure?
no, of course I'm sure. Yes, no, but the great thing is I have a lowrider family. Like my girl's into it. We're gonna
You
make
got a
sure our
lowrider
baby is into it.
family.
You know what I'm saying? So like we go to the events together. It's my happy place. It's what keeps me sane. I'll say that.
Yeah. And there's, I mean, I got to imagine it's the same feeling as doing something behind a DJ booth or creating. There's some sort of creative ness to it when you're hitting switches, right?
Well, yeah,
there's a
'cause
skill involved.
I'm dancing a car, and when I'm in traffic, that's like my crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dead ass. And when you're dancing the car,
You're right. I've been in the car. I've seen it.
but it's not. It's also like there's a technique to the dancing the car. You know what I'm saying? It's not as easy as just pushing a button and the car does fucking shit. You have to know how. It's like scratching, right? Like people go, "Oh, I want to move the record back and forth and make that scratchy noise," but it's not gonna sound like you chirping or crabbing. You know what I'm saying? Same thing as if I'm seesawing or if I'm bouncing the car. If no disrespect to you, but if you were to get behind it, you wouldn't know how to make the
Yes,
car bounce.
that- yeah, that's
you know
what I'm saying.
You have to have a rhythm to it to get it going. You know.
There's a level of having to be in the moment and precise and have the skills to do the shit.
Right. And not kill yourself while you're going around the highway hopping in the air. That's a technique too.
Yeah.
Are
The
we
game
live
is
still?
deep. Yeah, we're still.
Oh, I thought it said because you're looking at it like it's like we're
Nah, I just felt like the volume was clipping a little bit, so I took it down a bit. I
All
don't
right,
know.
that's
you
fair.
know? We should have headphones on, really.
yeah, but my hair,
'Cause
you
we
know, it's
s-
like a thing.
I know.
Maybe like some earbuds, AirPods.
Nah, the headphones are tight though because when you do have them on, you're so much more engaged in the conversation. It's like you're fucking.
The person's
locked in.
talking in your head,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do at radio and shit, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. New studio though.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
Big headphones. I mean, it's painted, it's carpeted, it's cleaned. It's
How much time are you spending investing in this place? Are you a partner or are you just kind of like involved?
I'm just involved.
I got you. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they are basically giving me a free space to put podcast equipment in and then just kind of see what happens from there.
Gotcha. Well, that's dope. When's gonna be your first potty from there?
I don't know. I gotta like build a set. Remember when we built the set for our show?
Oh yeah,
You remember how much fun we had?
that was a fucking blast when we found
going
the
to
stripper
Walmart,
mannequin.
Yeah.
and fucking creating this. I don't know what you would even call it, like a shrine,
It was
but
a mantle, yeah.
it was a mantle based off of kind of if for anybody who's listening, so you can picture this if you didn't know. Picture like I don't know, like a cabin where a hunter would live. How they would have like a taxidermied kill that they had. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a beaver or a
Trophy kill.
lion, and they put a little bit of grass around it to kind of make it feel like it's in the wild, but it's above the fireplace on a mantle. We did that, but with a stripper.
Yeah.
And what was her name?
Bella.
Bella. Yes, she had a garter, and we would put money in it, kind of as a sacrificial offering.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Good time. So I'm excited to hit thrift stores and fucking find weird shit and cool shit.
Do you have a
build
vision on
set.
what you want to build?
I don't know. Not really, honestly. I mean, I kind of got to go based off my options, you know?
See what's
like,
out there.
Like sampling a record. I just got to see what's on there.
But not like a Primo sample
Sort
where
of
you
take
already
what I
hear the
like.
sample before you...
That motherfucker lied so bad, bro, and I caught his ass up, and I need to talk to him. Someone needs to put me through to him, and I need him on record apologizing because I went on my whole life of
thinking
making
that was how
beats,
you
but-
sample.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain to them what you're talking about?
There was like an old ass.
I think it was in Scratch, the documentary.
Yeah, I think it was in Scratch where they're interviewing Primo and he's talking about making beats and he's like, I hear every single beat I make in my head
No, he said
before I make it.
he hears a sound and he looks for it.
Right. He hears this particular thing that he wants to create and going through records, he's looking for that thing.
Yeah.
And then he's what was it? One of the new
He's got like
things he's
from
doing?
the DAT or something like that where he talks about making beats. It's like
Yeah,
little 10-minute documentaries.
and he tells a story about doing New York State of Mind on Illmatic with Nas, and he's like, yeah, me and Nas were just chilling in the studio listening to records, and we put this one on, and the pianos come on, and we're both fucking nodding to it, and they vibe and connect, and they're like, oh, this is it. And I'm like, what the? That's not fucking hearing
That's
the
not
shit
the-
before it's being made. Like,
Well,
like,
you got to. I mean, but here's the thing. Back in the day, you had to have the smoke and mirrors effect, you know, because everything was about like making yourself larger than life, right? So
Yeah.
we would all feel like, fuck, we could never do what Primo does. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
And that could still be true. I mean, the motherfucker's insane.
I mean, not to take away
Yeah.
from his talents whatsoever,
but making that
just
that supernatural character, you know.
creating that thing, which I mean, now I understand it, right? Because it's
DJ.
what everybody does on social media. As a DJ, as anybody
Yeah.
on social media, you get to present yourself however you want.
Right.
So if someone's interviewing you back in the day, you're presenting yourself and you get to do it.
You have
however
to make
the fuck
yourself
you
a little
want.
larger than life, because if he's like, I don't know, I just fucking hear shit and then I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, and then put a drum behind it, and then
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be like, well, fuck Primo, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, and so I get why he did it, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a little misleading. Here's the thing though, like, still back then, like in hindsight, like looking at it with today's technology, like we're like, well, that ain't shit. I could go on YouTube and listen to a million different records and find a fucking 2-second loop, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, but back then it wasn't the same way. You know what I'm saying? The equipment was analog. You know what I'm saying? The records were records that you had to find. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like somebody just gave you this creative, amazing jazz records. You had to listen
Any song you could think of in the world.
You know what I'm saying? You had to find these records, then you had to listen to countless hours of bullshit records until you found something that was actually a good sound.
I mean, yeah, you're for the most part going based off of the artwork on the record.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's how Shadow
that's-
would say he would do it.
Yeah, I mean that's how everyone does. Sometimes the record store has a listening thing, but even before you get to there, you're looking at records and
Right.
you pick the one that you even want to go listen.
So
you're
the
just
album
going-
artwork is a big one. The other one though that a lot of people sleep on is you got to look at the credits.
Yeah.
So like if you see if the bass guitarist was like from Bob James' band, you're gonna be like, okay, well this is gonna have a fucking good bass line. You know what I'm saying? Or drummer or whatever have you. So yeah, there's definitely techniques, but like it still was nowhere as easy as it is today.
Remember we went digging through that dude's 45 collection in Hyde Park.
That was
Well,
one of the,
how did that even happen? That
he
was like
my-
your homie or something.
No, he was my Uber driver, and he was like, "What do you do?" You know, because they always ask you, and I was like, "I'm a DJ." He's like, "Oh, I used to have a record store." So he had this crib, and he's like, "Yo, I still got all these." Or he didn't say this. He's like, "Old guy." He's like, hey, "I got all these old records, from my shop." He's like, "I'm selling them though. If you ever want to come take a look at them." And so I hit you up, and I was like, "Yo, we got to go check this out," because those are when you find like the dope shit. Is like you go to these like digs,
Yeah.
and you can paint the picture for them.
I mean, it was fucking just 45s on bookshelves in a shitty old apartment with this old guy like
In his
sitting
kitchen.
in his kitchen waiting for us to dig through it.
And it's like there's no way to listen to them. But like I found some dope. I found the sample for a Jay Dilla sample on 45 in there. I found a few good ones. I mean, I don't really rock with 45s like that, but that was pretty much like
R.I.P. to Biz Markie.
yeah. But I mean, there were some good ones there. The cool thing about digging 45s though is that you find versions of songs that are different than the LP versions. You know what I'm saying?
Also, is that not probably the only time in the history of telling an Uber driver that you're a DJ that it worked out in your favor.
Oh my God! Do you have a card? Because I could probably find some work for you. And it's like, listen, dude, I appreciate your offer, but
I had an overly friendly, overly talkative Uber driver pick me up from the airport, bro, and that is the worst.
it's the fucking worst.
Because he's a nice guy, and you can't be mean to a nice guy and like shatter his spirit of like trying to be kind and connect. Like, dude, this guy asked me how my family was. Like, he asked me where I was in Chicago. Oh yeah, I went for Thanksgiving, this and that. And then he's like, "Fam's all good?" And I'm gonna be like, "No, my uncle fucking has
Cheated on
liver
my aunt."
cancer, and yeah, my aunt's now sucking my cousin's dick. It's crazy." Like, what did he think? What?
Yeah.
What?
I
How's
think
my
some people
family?
are just like that, man. They don't really think, they just speak, which can be me when I'm drunk, but it's a little different case. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't took an Uber really since I've been out here. I mean,
That's good.
I've probably
Well,
saved a
when
lot of money.
Yeah, when you start drinking at 11:30, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, you know how many fucking times blacked out I woke up the next morning, like, how the fuck did I get home? And then I'm like, thank God. The realest meme was that meme that was like, I think it was like the guy from Family Guy on the back of a dolphin, like all fucking whacked out. And the dolphin's like carrying him. And he's like, this is me in the back of an Uber, wasted at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that's me so many times. Even before Uber was a thing, I mean, cabs saved my shit so many times. I got in a fight with a couple cab drivers being drunk. You know
I
what I'm
could
saying?
see you fighting cab drivers easily.
Bro,
I mean,
remember-
that is like, that should be a series.
I remember a time that I don't know what we were fighting about, but something, and this motherfucker got me good because they have the cage in the back of the fucking taxi. I was like talking shit, and then my face was like by the glass, and he slammed on the brakes, and my face bashed into.
Oh,
bro, I was
man.
so fucking mad. I tried ripping him out of the car, and he just left me there.
Bro.
But yeah, he got me good. He got me good.
You definitely learned a lesson though. If you're
No,
talking
I
shit
definitely
to a
fucked the
cabbie.
next cab driver. I
Well,
had a
but
chance
if you probably had your seatbelt.
Well,
on
yeah,
while
yeah.
you were
I learned a
talking
lesson.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause, when you're wasted, you're not thinking. I don't even know what the fuck we were arguing about, but yeah, he got me. I'll give him that. He got me.
Hell yeah. Well, you got to give props where they're due.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Couple
Polish
flowers
bastard.
for the cab driver. He was a Polish guy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fucking. Look, everybody assumes all cab drivers are Indian, but back in the day, you got a whole eclectic mix of them. I mean, mix of them. I would say the majority were probably Indian, but there was a lot of. A lot of African.
A lot of African too.
Asians. I mean, really all of them. But like, from what I understood, because a lot of them would tell me this story about the badges or what do they call them?
medallions.
The medallions. They were like forever indebted to these fucking Russian mobsters for these medallions that they had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. I remember them always telling the same story, so I know it wasn't bullshit. And then when Uber came along, I was like, yo, all these people who like invested their life savings into these medallions are fucked. It's all for nothing.
Not necessarily, because it's like
Cost of doing
it's like
business.
a piece of property. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like,
it doesn't matter now. Who the fuck takes cabs, really?
Well, just in the sense of, I guess property is not the best example because there's so many different things you can do with it. But that medallion
It's about as
you're
worthless
making-
as an NFT.
It's worthless. Well, it depends who you talk to about NFTs. It's worthless.
Are you not to get off subject? Are you still on the NFTs train?
I mean, I have my butt plug still, and I'm waiting for someone to buy it. If you're interested,
I mean, but like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a whole nother thing, but
I mean, I just saw an opportunity to try and.
no,
get
I'm not.
something
I'm
stirred
not
up on the
knocking it,
internet.
but I'm like, am I? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in
Well-
20 years we'll all find out the NFTs were like the future stock market. I
Well,
don't know.
they say that NFTs are going to come into play with the metaverse. They say that NFTs are going to be a
Yeah,
big
I heard
thing.
somebody bought like a $1 million plot of land on
You
there.
can buy land in the metaverse. I mean, there is no doubt. It is not even a question anymore.
well,
that
Facebook's
this-
invested, so it's it's gonna fucking.
They didn't invest. That's Facebook.
Yeah,
He's-
that's what I mean. They're invested. They are the metaverse.
Mark
So
Zuckerberg is. I mean, this guy is. We all know that
He's
he's
an alien.
not a great guy, and he is.
he's definitely
incredibly.
an evil alien sent here to fucking enslave us.
Yeah, and we already live in the internet. without the ability of living in the internet. Reality is no longer what we accept as the truth.
Right.
The internet is the truth now.
Well,
we live
yes.
in the internet.
I will be honest.
Truly, I'm not saying that as a believer.
It has a dark place. I wish to God I could just unplug.
You can.
I mean, I can, and I do. And that's one of the beauty things about the car game is that, like, outside of when I'm driving, outside of the music that's playing from my phone, I don't look at my phone at all. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the moment. But just in general, like, it's not good for my well-being. I have to, like, stay
really
away
bad.
from my phone for a little while.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
I listen to you remember watching,
but even more so now than like a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's only getting worse.
Yeah, and
It's
I don't
only
know how
getting
much
worse.
of that is.
They're collecting more data. They're learning more about us and using that information to leverage whatever they want from us.
Right.
And it's only getting worse as time goes on. It's only getting more advanced.
Right.
And do you remember The Social Dilemma? Everyone watched the fucking Social Dilemma.
Apparently not enough people watched it because we're still in the exact same boat we were.
Well, I mean, people watched it, and then for like 3 days, they were like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm never getting on that again. And then 3 days later, they're back on Facebook. You just do it. You don't even do it consciously. You just do it. Like I'm on Instagram, and I'm like, what? And I wake up like I'm fucking dreaming or something. Right. Like I'm on here just doing things, looking at things, and then I'm like, what? Why am I'm like in the middle of doing something else. Right. Let me continue doing this. It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, they say NFTs are supposed to play into the metaverse and the whole blockchain system. I mean, imagine like The Sims, but it's real. And you have art. It's so real to you that you want a piece of art in your virtual reality metaverse crib. You buy an NFT.
Wait, so is that why the NFTs you think are gonna be valuable?
Some people say. I mean, that's what I've heard.
But what's to say? Oh, I guess it'd be no different than me having a reprint of a painting you have.
Exactly.
Like you have the original painting.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is the same thing. It's like
a
real Picasso versus a fake Picasso. Why would a real Picasso cost so much money? Anybody could get a fake one of these
because
and put it on
it was
their wall.
created by a fucking Picasso.
Exactly.
His hands touched it. Now the problem is with the NFT is that it's still digital, so it wasn't.
What do you mean?
So like a piece of artwork, like an actual painting, right? You could say, well, this was touched by a Picasso, and his brush strokes were on this fucking piece of paper. This lived in his house for however long it took him to paint it. You know what I'm saying? But with the NFT, it's still all digital. They didn't create, like you didn't create the butt plug. You had a graphic designer do it. You know. But I guess even outside of that, there's still some place value. Okay, I get it.
There's value in it as a creative. Like I created that with my mind.
Right.
I thought in my mind, if I was Kim Kardashian level famous or whatever, it had influence like that, and I thought of this with my mind, and I had this butt plug, someone could buy it for the ridiculous amount of money and be like, that's from Strategy's mind, that's from Kim Kardashian's mind, I love her, I worship her, she thought of this, I want it. You know what I mean? It's like the same.
I don't know, man. The whole metaverse thing kind of gives me the creep. I feel like
super creepy.
When this whole thing takes off, I'm gonna probably have to sit this one out.
You're not gonna have a meta lowrider?
I feel like I'm gonna have to sit this one out and just.
You're not gonna be cruising
die
the digital
naturally,
streets?
Biologically in 30, 50 years, whatever the fucking however old I am. God, I hope I don't die in 30 years. I'd be pretty young. Anyways.
Well, I'm hoping that it actually cleans up the problem. I'm hoping that it takes care of the problem. I'm hoping like this is essentially like a place for people to move to, right? So all the people that fucking hate reality and don't really understand it,
but reality is not the problem.
They're incels and they're in the basement of their mom's cribs and they can't control their feelings because they've never been in public long enough to have.
This is only going to amplify that because they're going to be out of public for longer.
Yeah, in their own world, they're locked in. They're in the metaverse, dog. It's like them going to Africa. Like, sure, they can be
you're saying we won't see them anymore?
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, okay.
Like, they could be who they want in Africa. It's not going to affect me.
I feel like there's a whole generation of people who are already in their own metaverse of sorts, whether it's on PS5 Live or whatever the fucking situation is.
All of that.
But do you notice you never fucking see kids under 30 outside like 25. I would even venture to say people under 21 I never ever see outside.
Yeah, I mean that for sure. 100%.
Like when I was younger, you went outside to see people.
My mom called me the wandering Jew because I would ride my bike around.
You were like Moses,
everywhere.
just wandering the desert.
She told me, we were talking about this recently. I was just in Chicago. She told me like her and her friend Merle would be like going to run errands or do something, and they would like see me on the opposite end of town on my bike.
Yeah,
like just cruising. Like we were in the streets all
I was
day.
like a fucking Columbus of sorts. I know
Yeah.
it's taboo to say that, but I just needed to go like explore. Like I had to get far away. I can't get my son to leave his fucking bedroom, let alone the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not good for the generations to come. But as far as those people being the problem and them logging out of reality,
So basically,
into something
what you're
else,
saying is instead of having to see their comments on my Facebook, they'll just fucking go into their own metaverse.
they'll be fighting
their own
their demons.
So
in
all,
the metaverse.
all the political fucking crazy motherfuckers on both sides that are just fighting each other, they can go fight over in a different metaverse, and I can be in a metaverse with just people that I want
to just be in reality.
or I can be in reality.
You could just be here.
Yeah.
We're right here.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah. Fuck them.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, bring on the metaverse.
It could be a beautiful thing.
I feel like we're already in a metaverse. I'm gonna be honest, man.
Well, you've
Just
always
think about
been
it.
a simulation theory kind of guy. Hold on. If this is hold on.
Wait, is it too long? Oh,
No,
you gotta
no.
spark it up.
If this is where we're going,
Well, let's go.
This is where we're going.
Let's talk about it.
I know you're one of those like pro censorship, hating weed because it turns you gay guys, but
Okay, maybe when I smoked weed, I fucking had a gay experience. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so check it out. If we're already coming to this within our lifetime, right? Which let's just say by chance of fucking being that we are at the exact point of time that lives cross over into a metaverse. What are really the odds of that? That we're in that last generation of real people. What are the odds?
Are you saying that like we're so far behind that?
No,
or
no, no,
we're
no.
so far. You think that we already did that?
100%. Because how is it, right, that our generation just happens to be the one that started in a semi-regular world and has is now crossing over into a simulation world? I think that we've done this a million times over, and this is just part of the simulation. So you can have a chance to experience both sides.
Because like, okay, what would you say? Maybe it's 2021. In 1950, there wasn't even a thought of that. I mean, people were barely watching TVs.
Right.
Like you had a tube. Did you even have a TV? I don't
Right.
know in 1950. I don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. So
So
like,
you're saying it took 70 years to get from like not even that being in sight
Right.
to us being there
Well,
right now.
yeah.
Allegedly.
right,
Like,
we haven't crossed over yet, but like
people-
that we're on the dawn of this new, like we're leaving the world. I think that the whole simulation is us just experiencing the world, and at the end of the simulation, it restarts as we go into a meta simulation.
Okay, so let's say that's like 100-year process, right? From 1950s.
No, I would say it's way quicker than that. I'd say it's like a 40-year process.
Well, we're already at 70 years, and
No,
we're not there yet.
I wasn't alive in 1950. I'm saying our life. I think it's it happens through a cycle of a lifetime.
But I feel like that's not possible.
It's not
Because
possible if you
from-
live through someone else's life, but we're talking about your own. If you're in a simulation, right, and I'm not even real,
Yeah,
okay, check this out.
hit me.
It doesn't matter what happened to our parents' life because they might all be simulated. So they might not even be real. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your life,
I can't grasp it. I can't feel what you're saying.
if we're in a simulation, right, then these people aren't even real. They're just people that we've created in our sim. If you're playing Grand Theft Auto,
they're as real
Well,
as
hold on.
I am real.
Well, hold on. Hear me out. If you're playing Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
and you're not playing online, and you're just playing by yourself, are those people as real as your character?
In the game, yes. Yes.
Are they? How? They're all simulated.
Yeah, and so am I in the game.
Right, but
Like
you
the
control
guy
your
who-
character. What I'm saying is they're not controlled by a
not
human.
controlled. Whoa.
They're just simulated characters. But looking at them, you would think that they're real.
Yeah.
So if the simulation is real enough that we don't know that we're in it, then what's to say that the people who are in it are not just simulated characters?
So you think that I'm controlling myself,
Right.
but you're a simulated character in your
For all you
picture
know,
that you're
for all
painting.
I know.
But for you,
Because perception is reality. My perception of you is that you're a real character like me.
yeah.
But if the game is good enough that we don't even know that we're in it, what's to say that you can't create a character that's believable enough? I'm just saying. And not
then
to
what?
wear tin hat.
And then what? And then that's for me, right? That's my little game that I'm playing. I'm the guy,
Right.
and everyone else is simulated.
Right.
And is there a lot of those little things happening all at once, or is this just?
Well, you're in your own PS5, and then someone else is in their own PS5.
And so like, and we're not playing online.
Maybe we are, maybe we aren't.
We haven't
Either,
gotten to online yet.
Maybe we are, maybe we aren't.
Because if that's the case, if we're that advanced that we're in the simulation and everybody's got their own little simulation, but now why can't we connect if we're that
Well,
advanced?
because there's problems with simulation. When you play online, there's a lot of glitches. If
Yeah.
this game is that intense and that realistic, why would you want to network it?
Is this an intense game?
Well,
The
if we
game
don't
of
know we're in
life?
it, it's pretty high tech.
I'm not denying it.
Right.
I'm not denying it at this point. But I'm also not fully sold on it.
Okay. That's fair. I'm not here to sell it. I'm just here to suggest it.
Now, what is that called? That's not the simulation theory that I thought was the simulation
I don't know that's
theory.
called anything. It's just something I thought.
That's just something you thought of.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was something you heard about.
No.
Because the simulation theory, right, which is like the existing theory, is what?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't follow it that. I'm not like watching YouTube videos about it, but
Because I feel like
I always felt this could be a possibility. Because if we're this close to getting it now, what's to say that we didn't get it 1,000 years ago? Because who knows how long we've been on this earth in real? If this is a simulation, right? What's to say that we're really just that fortunate that we're right at the cusp of leaving our reality into the next one? Do you know what I'm saying?
yo,
Isn't that coincidental?
I mean, there's so many things that happen throughout the day that make me feel like like the universe shifted a little bit. Like there was a tiny jump.
You mean when they made the Hadron Collider?
Like, you know,
Life was pretty normal back in the day. I don't know. Shit's kind of crazy right now.
I mean, there's moments, and this happens most often to me
When you're high?
when I'm high.
You're seeing the real...
When I'm high. B, when I have my AirPods in. And I'm at the gym, baked, and then I'll be stretching. I'll have my AirPods in and I'm stretching. And when I'm like at a point where I'm exhaling fully and I'm like really getting a good stretch and there's like a lot of energy being released and my body's cracking and shit, my AirPods will glitch. They'll like trip up. Like as if something's
You're
coming
fucking with
in
the force
between
field?
the fucking Bluetooth
Right.
signal.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you still on the Wim Hof?
I haven't really done it in a minute. I've been off my game. Probably for like, what is it, December?
Yeah, I haven't seen
Third,
White Trash Yoga on
second
your
right now.
story in a while.
Yeah, I've been off my game a little. I've been in the gym. That's the consistent thing that I've been doing, the gym. But I've been maxing a little bit. I saw Diddy on.
You guys do burn gods and go fucking hit the Harlem Street Shuffle?
Well, we hit Insomnia Cookies. I saw Diddy. It got weird a little bit.
I don't know how he continues to eat like that and live.
I fear that actually.
I mean, but he only does that when we're around, right?
No, he
does that every
all
day?
the time. He does that all the time.
How is that possible?
All
I
the
would
time.
be so depressed.
Yeah.
Not that it's depressing what he does, but just that much. Like even eating Chick-fil-A on the way here, I feel a little like I want to kill myself.
Yeah, yes.
Just a little bit, not enough to be alarmed.
I know the feeling. Yo, I made so many I'm gonna kill myself jokes one day to this girl that she was like stopped me and was like, "Do I need to call you later tonight and check on you?" And I was like, "No, I'm
This is how we
just in
talk.
Houston. It's fine."
It's it's how we cope with the reality.
Yeah, they don't.
No, that's
the
kinda
younger
fucked up.
generation's not ready for that kill
They
yourself
don't get
jokes.
it. Yeah, no.
Like, I used to tell my mom I was gonna kill myself.
Bro, every time I was mad about something.
Every time I was out, I was like, "Oh yeah,
I'll
you want
fucking
to
hit
take
my head
my
in this
toy
wall."
away? I'm gonna fucking run into the middle of the street and kill myself." And she was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Fucking have fun, you know?
Idiot.
Like, man, I mean, how did they become so soft?
I don't know.
Because I know old heads, when we were kids, called us soft, right? Because they're like, oh, back in my day, we had a stickball bat and fucking, you know, we played in traffic for a living, you know,
Yeah.
whatever the case was.
You have fucking heat. I had to eat dinner in the cold.
Right. And suck my own dick for warmth. Like, but like, it's pretty obvious that this generation is fucking soft as baby shit.
It's soft, man. They just announced for CPS, Chicago Public Schools, that they're taking genders off of bathrooms. Bathrooms are now just a free for all.
I got an
What's
argument.
gonna happen in there?
I
I can only imagine. You're telling
it's gonna be an
kids-
orgy in the
you're
fucking
telling
bathroom. I was
young-
still trying to get my dick sucked in the bathroom, and that wasn't allowed.
You're telling young, horny kids not to separate when they take their genitals out anymore. Just do it all in the same
Because there
room.
might be one transgendered kid in the school that get offended. I don't know what's happening, but
I mean, how do you not think past that? Or what is the argument to that? That's why I want to talk to somebody who's about that. Like, on some serious shit.
That's
because
my thing. Because if it's all about not wanting to offend the transgendered kid, but like, what about the kids that aren't transgender? It doesn't offend them, or does that not matter anymore? Well, I got in an argument yesterday with one of my girlfriend's friends from Chicago, who happens to be a teacher and a liberal retard, who.
Was this, hold on. Was this text?
No, this was
Facebook?
a FaceTime.
Was this a phone
I'm going to
call?
fucking punch through this phone if I could
And-
kind of
and-
argument.
And was it like your girl was on FaceTime with her? and
Well, no,
talking and you had to, like, step in and be
her
like,
friend
"Listen."
was like saying how much who happens to be white, was saying how much she hates white guys and all this stuff, and I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm used to hearing this. Like, okay, that's cool. And then she said something, and I was like, well, that's kind of racist. She's like, it's impossible to be racist towards white people. And then I was like, okay, here we go.
I've heard it.
So
my brother used to make that argument.
Yeah, and
I've heard it
and
before.
then the whole systematic thing, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna let this thing ride. And then she begins telling how like schools are racist and all this stuff. And I'm like, aren't you a teacher like at a school? Like, she's like, yeah, but thankfully we finally did away with demerits, which was a totally racist way of holding back minorities. And I'm like, no, it's a way of holding back kids who are problematic, right?
I don't
doesn't
know
have
what
to-
it is.
It's basically a demerit is like if you like if you do something bad, then you get knocked down and you can like eventually get suspended from school. If you
okay, yeah.
if you get so many referrals, right?
Yeah.
But they say that that's racist now,
It's
and I'm like, what does that have to do with race? It has to do with
behavior.
behavior,
And-
which if you're saying that's racist, then you're saying that people that are minorities are inherently bad behavior,
Yeah,
which
they're
is
just born with
racist.
bad behavior. Just because, like, we're going off a behavioral thing, and then you want to add race to it. You're bringing
Yes.
the race into it.
Yes.
Nobody gives a fuck about the race if
Right.
you're doing wild shit.
But that's why Chicago's in a crazy state right
Bro,
now.
I saw outside of the club, I saw 2 pistols, one with a fucking extended clip, 39 bullets. 2 pistols. Thank God the person holding them was the police that took them from the man that was going to take them
Inside and
back
shoot.
into the club, baby. I don't know. Like, even hearing that, hearing myself say it, like, this is the story. Guy harasses a woman inside. They throw him out of the club. He goes to his trunk to get 2 pistols, one with 39 bullets in it.
Right.
And then the story ends with the police, who were, thank God, in front, the off-duty cops,
Caught him.
got on him, saw what he was doing. The car was parked right in front of the club. He literally, like, went to his trunk all mad and shit, like, I'm going to shoot this
I mean, that
place
could have been a
up.
mass shooting.
And they stopped him.
And I bet it didn't even make it on the news.
But
Of
like,
course it didn't make it on the news.
I don't know, but the thought process, like hearing that, is like he got thrown out of the club and then he came back with 2 guns. Like, no, that can't be true. That can't. Who? Why? Make it make sense to me. I don't get. You can't think past. I'm gonna shoot these people. I'm so mad right now. I'm gonna shoot these people. You can't think what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen after that?
Right.
You're gonna get away. You're fucking Batman. The Robin's gonna pull up with the Batmobile, and you're gone, and you're peace. and what you just did was forgotten about, and you get to wake up tomorrow. Like, you can't think past what's gonna happen if I pull the trigger on some people that just threw me out of a venue. Like,
Right.
how does it get, like, I can't process it. How does that happen?
People don't think, and that's why they end up getting arrested, and then they complain about that.
It's wild. I don't know how we got here, but
Welcome to the simulation, and it's fucking broken. If someone could just restart and send me back to 1990, I'll be happy.
let me just add, because we got to there from talking about race, and I don't even know what just came out of my mouth, but let me just finish with the guy wasn't even black.
Yeah.
So
So
it has nothing to do with race.
stop crying.
But I'm like, what happened in this man's life that he can't put the pieces together?
Right.
Right? Like I can't, that's not an equation that I can figure out.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's because you have a conscience. Conscience.
Why though? Why do I have that? Where does that come from? What do I have that this guy doesn't? Essentially, in terms of
You have the lack
childhood.
of a complex that someone feels that. And this is just I don't know the guy, so I don't know where his.
we're just
just guessing.
You're not a fucking
Yeah,
doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
asking for your
But
medical opinion.
as
on
being a
this, man.
person who's been drunk enough to probably have done something stupid,
Is that what it is? Alcohol? Okay,
for sure, alcohol is in the
there's
equation, but it's also it's a complex of like you're not going to talk down to me. Like I'd rather kill you than let you talk down to me. That's probably where his head was at, which is a terrible thing.
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
Disrespect. Like you
You
must
disrespect
die.
it, yes.
The level of disrespect that you just hit
Yes.
is execution level
Yes.
disrespect.
I mean, people get killed every day for disrespecting people. That's 9 times out of 10. It's either about money or disrespect that people get shot.
Just
Just
that's it.
That's it.
Just that.
Not just that. I'm sure there's other things, but
Disrespect.
9 times out of 10.
That's insane.
But that's
fucking
okay.
is nuts
Okay,
to
but
me.
I don't know, and I don't know this guy's background. He I don't know what he is or where he's from or
believe
what.
he was
what-
Middle Eastern.
Well, whatever that is. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, and this is probably part of the reason why there's a lot more shootings in impoverished communities is because when you don't have money, all you really have is respect, and people aren't going to respect you based off of a level of accomplishments. So they find that fear is a quicker way to get respect, and that's what causes to this complex of
Or
people
maybe
killing
they
people.
mistake fear.
Well, I'm not
for
saying. Well,
respect.
yeah, exactly. Well, and here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that to excuse anyone for killing someone over fucking respect.
it's not excusable
I'm just,
at all. I'm
just
looking for an answer.
Yeah,
to that.
I'm just giving a possible insight to a level of where that idea comes from.
Yeah, no, I feel like you did a good job. I mean, there's alcohol for sure and drugs. If we're talking nightclubs here,
I'm sure
alcohol and drugs.
someone with a 39 round clip
Which
could be. I mean, listen, it's wild out here.
it's wild.
Don't
But it
step on the
didn't-
guy's shoe. Just fucking continue with your night. And you know what? I saw this on Jay Stone's story the other day, and it spoke a lot to me in my mind. And it was it was like there was a couple memes, but they were about like trying to be a hard ass, And it was like the first one was something along the lines of, a 21-year-old like stepping to me, and it wasn't him. He was just reposting this, but it was something about a 21-year-old stepping to me in the club who ain't got shit to lose. Why do you act like that's such a cool thing to say you have nothing to lose? I've accomplished things. I have a family. I'm happy. I have things to lose. So that doesn't make you a tougher person than me. That just means that you haven't done shit with your life.
You
know what I'm
haven't
saying?
done shit,
Exactly. So there was that, and then the next one was something about you're gonna spend all this time trying to prove to someone that you're hard, and then you're gonna spend even more time proving to a prosecutor that you're innocent. And I was like, damn, that speaks a lot, because that's usually why people end up shooting people, is the respect thing. It's like showing that you're a more badass tough guy. But then when it comes down time to it, you're fighting for your life against a court that all could have been just by being like, you know what, you're right. Like if somebody tries to fight you in the club, instead of being like, oh, I got something to prove to this person, just be like, you know what, you're right, and just let them fucking go, and then you can live your life, man. It's really that simple.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I say this as a person who's stupid enough to get in a lot of fights, and when I'm drunk,
Mm-hmm.
it's not worth it. It does. It's never been worth it. Any bone I've ever broken in a fight was never worth proving to someone that I don't even fucking know that I'm tougher than them or whatever I was thinking.
For sure. I mean that you
This
have
guy
the
deep.
right. You have the right. You have the right to. You've earned the right to say that
Yeah.
from experience.
Don't be stupid. Just let it go. It's cool. No one cares. You're never gonna see that person again, anyways. Probably. So.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. People that would do something like that are people that just they have nothing, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
To shoot somebody it's like this guy probably grew up. People go to jail all around him. It's not
Right.
even.
It's
like
just a part of
thing.
life.
It's like that guy went to jail. I'm probably gonna go to jail too. And if tonight has to be that night, I guess tonight's that night.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Bro.
It's wild, but there's a lot of people that live like that, and that's why you got to be careful who you fuck with when you like. Just because you're tougher than somebody or bigger than somebody doesn't mean that you couldn't lose your life,
Oh, for sure.
and for nothing. You know?
It's wild, bro. I mean, that's definitely a looming thing in the back of your head when you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's like
You don't
these
know who you're
streets
going.
are fucking wild right now. Like I'm downtown. These crazy fucking ridiculous things are happening downtown. Granted, these things happen in Chicago. I was telling someone, like, remember we used to talk about this years ago, 5-6 years ago probably, when any out-of-town DJ or anybody would find out you're from Chicago and they're like, oh my God, Chicago, it's so dangerous, it's crazy. And we would be like, not the whole city's
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
It's just one part of it. You won't be there. It's fine.
Right. It's everywhere now.
Now when people talk about Chicago, it is what they used to think.
Yeah.
Like now they're like, oh my God, it's so dangerous. And you're like, yeah, it's fucking nuts. It's insane right
Well,
now.
you know what? A lot of that came when the police, when that big class action lawsuit came against the police, and then the police were like, "Well, fuck it, then we're not gonna work to," and because I remember hearing the police that would work in the nightlife talking about, it. They're like, "Shit's gonna go crazy." They're like, basically, they're not policing like they used to, which to some people that think, well, that's good, we won, a cab or whatever the fuck, but you're seeing the product of that.
Yeah, you're releasing madness into the streets. Like,
And the thing is, the fucked up dynamic is, I think the cops knew that, obviously, because they know what they're doing. They deal with it on a daily basis. These people on the internet who are crying we're living. And that's the thing is, like, the people that always say this stuff are the same people who would never dream of living in one of those communities, right? But yet now they're seeing it at the front door. And I mean, it's not just Chicago. LA is going through the same thing.
Crime's really bad. I mean, we're all nuts, dude. I'm barely holding on, I feel like, mentally, and I have the greatest life you could ever imagine. I'm like I'm making money, I'm DJing, I'm not doing shit other than that. It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah.
But like I'm fucked up just because everyone's fucked up. The whole shit that's happening around us is fucked up. It's
Unplugged
fucking
from the Matrix.
everybody up for sure.
I honestly, I'm plugged for the Matrix, man. I try not to watch the news. I try not to fucking follow those pages that like repost, because like everybody loves repost. Bro, there was some page I had to unfollow the other day that like every time there's a burglary or any kind of crime, I think it's called Faces of LAPD or something like that. And every time there's a crime, so it's like, so I'm looking at this and it's all on my timeline. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
I'm thinking like,
terrible to just be
there's someone
watching.
getting robbed every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's always from a Nest cam. It's like somebody follows somebody home and robs them. And I think they have good intentions, is to like tell people to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, the world's in shambles. Everyone's getting robbed. But I'm like,
Yeah.
listen. Don't get caught slipping, but at the same time, don't dwell on it, because it's like people who will never fly because they're worried that a plane's going to crash. Yeah, planes crash, but the amount of percentage of planes that are actually crashing, it's really
Right. If
not
you
worth losing
compare, yeah, I mean, you don't just die from getting on a plane. Some people have,
Yeah.
and it will continue to happen in freak accidents or whatever, but generally you do not die from getting on a plane. But if you fucking watched every day, every 10 minutes, a video of a plane crashing because that's what's on your news feed,
Yeah.
you're going to feel like that's all that's happening.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. On the flight back, which I ended up taking a Spirit flight back from Vegas because I was trying to save some money.
Here we go.
Boy,
How
I thought
she?
it was it. I thought I was going down, man. We hit this fucking turbulence. But I've been on a lot of flights, and I've never experienced turbulence like this.
Yeah?
I mean, it was like we had to have gone up and down like 20 stories in the matter of like 3 seconds. I mean, everybody was like holding on for dear life. The girl next to me is like crying and like praying, and I'm just like, I've never seen no shit like this. The fucking the stewardess and shit, they're like buckled in their seat and like holding like this, and it's a small plane, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is gonna be one of those planes that goes down, but it's like,
That's terrifying,
bro.
That shit'll make you a real fucking man right there.
Yeah, because you're like you come to
shit'll
peace
make
with
you a
yourself, and
real
you're like, you know what?
fucking man right
it's because
there.
at that point, it's out of your hands.
You don't exactly.
It's out of your hands. If you're gonna go down, you're gonna go down.
Yeah, I think that whatever that is, that we men operate on that system of like, okay, like let's go, and then women are a little bit more freak out. Like you said, the girl next to you was like crying and freaking out. I feel like anytime on a plane when I felt like some crazy shit was about to happen, it was just
Come to
like
peace,
zen
man.
almost.
You
like,
have to.
like you're
Come
like,
to
all
peace.
right.
If I'm gonna die, my last 3 seconds are not gonna be crying.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna fucking watch it and just be like, that's it. But you know what? What scares me more than dying in the plane crash is like crashing over water and then like being stranded there and just slowly dying or getting eaten by a shark or something. So whenever I fly over water, I'm just kind of like, man, that would suck. Because it's so, like, if you ever flown over the ocean, it's so fucking big. You're like, fuck. Like, as far as you can see for like hours, just like ocean.
That's how I felt on Holy Ship on that cruise, looking out into the water. Like you couldn't stand there and look for too long because then you start asking questions.
Wait a minute,
You're like, where am I?
If we end up in a problematic situation, there's no land.
It's water every way you look.
And it ain't like a motherfucker's gonna be able to come out there and quick. If they send another ship for you, it's gonna take a few days.
Yeah, so I just did 14 hits of acid and hope for the best.
Along with some mushrooms and acid or ecstasy.
This guy went.
Oh,
This guy spawned a new inner character.
I was not in control of the ship. We'll say that. The vessel had left the building.
Yo, we need to get Rock City on a podcast.
That would be great.
He loves talking,
and he's
Why
great.
Doesn't he have a podcast?
He's great. He's great at talking. Yeah, Rock needs a podcast.
He's
a very animated. He tells stories very vividly.
Yeah, good fucking times.
Hell yeah. Speaking of times, it's probably getting time for us to get to work, huh?
Yeah, it's getting time for us to get to work. I'm getting thirsty. I'm gonna find
these
love
pretzels
tonight.
are making me thirsty.
I'm gonna find love tonight. Tonight's the night. I can smell it.
Do you pop a Cialis? You ready?
I only jerked off once today, so
oh wow,
I'm ready.
Can we talk about mental health, or do we have time? What time?
Honestly, we have time. We could sit here for another 15 minutes and be fine. Let me take a piss.
All right. So, while we're talking about mental health, do you ever find yourself, after masturbating more than once, getting depressed? Yeah. I feel like when I jerk off more than once in a day, I become depressed. And I've Googled to see if I could find, like, has there been any line drawn between depression and masturbation, which I thought surely there had been. I couldn't find anything that...
No way.
I'm telling you, I searched it.
You're lying.
And then I was like, well, maybe it's something wrong with me. Let me try this again. So then I go another day and I jerk off twice in a day and I get depressed. But if I stick to just one jerk off a day or even none, I'm in a way better mind state. I swear to God, I get depressed if I jerked off more than once.
100%.
I think I'm only allowed so many happy, what do they call them?
Releases?
No, fucking serotonin. I'm only allowed so much serotonin in a day, and I drain it all out of my dick if I jerk off more than once.
Yeah.
And God smites me by making me depressed. So
I definitely feel that 100%. If I jerk off and I'm not even like really horny, like if you jerk off because you're bored, that will make me depressed. Like, I think that's the same thing. If you're nutting because you don't have to, you already busted one and you're good. You're doing the second. If you're nutting because you don't have to, it's just like, what are you doing here? Your body's like mad at you.
It's like eating, like eating your feelings, and then afterwards you just feel way worse. You know what I mean?
100%. But I will say that there are those days. For me, there'd be those days where like I'm endlessly horny. Well, and I can jerk off, and I could jerk off 4 times in that day and not really even be that depressed because I was actually like horny and needed to nut.
Here's the thing though. The depression isn't even like I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, you sick fuck. You didn't need to spend that many hours jerking off. But it's just
Like
like,
you used to.
it's like I'll jerk off, and then I'll go about my day, and then like hours later, I'm just like in a fucked up mental state where I'm just like
It's foggy.
depressed. Yeah,
It's foggy.
and I'm like, and I'm not even thinking about the jerk off, but I had to like come to the conclusion eventually that it was like, wait a minute,
That was it. That was what was
because then
causing
there's days when I have, because when you don't jerk, it's like when they like tell like athletes not to jerk off because they have a big game.
Yeah.
Like you have more energy, like dead
You're-
ass.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think it's testosterone is what
Whatever
it
it
is.
is, whatever
I
that,
believe.
that
I
shit
don't
is,
know.
serotonin, testosterone, whatever the fuck it is, it goes out of your dick when you're nutting.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
releasing it.
You gotta channel some of that energy.
I think sometimes that's what it is like sometimes you're releasing the poison, sometimes you're releasing the Mike's secret stuff, the good stuff that you need, you know?
Is that what you tell a girl? You're like, you want to get Mike's secret stuff? You
ain't
gotta
getting
pump
you
it
ain't
out of
getting
me.
the poison tonight, baby. I got this secret stuff.
Yeah, I
for
feel like when
you.
you call it poison, it's probably not as attractive for the women.
Yeah.
Because if a girl was like, I want you to suck the poison out of my pussy, I'm gonna be like, this bitch has a yeast infection for sure.
Yeah,
You
on
know?
some fucking Amazonian Tarzan shit.
Yeah.
Suck the poison out of my pussy. I just got bit by this rattlesnake.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, nah, you can keep that poison. I'm good.
On some Survivor, man, bite the fucking head right off of a live
Bro,
fish.
have you watched that show where they surviving naked or something like that? Naked
Of
and
course. I've watched
Bro.
every show on TV that has the word naked in it.
I don't doubt
Just
that.
looking for a nip slip.
How do they like? Well, two things. One, how do they not fuck these people when they're sleeping in the jungle but naked together? Like, I feel like
I think
That-
they're definitely fucking.
okay, they just don't put
But
it on the show.
also that.
But these
such
girls
a
are
fake
also
show.
gross. When I see them, I'm like, ugh. Like,
It's such a fake show. They're wrapping up like you got the shot of them getting into the tent at night, and then they rustle around a little bit for theatrics, and then they fucking pack up and
go to the hotel. Yeah, you're right.
And then they're
You're
back
right.
in the morning.
You're right.
You know,
All right. Well, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about jerking off.
they're in the simulation. Yeah, jerking off's good, man. When you need it.
Only when you need it. Jerk
It's
off
all-
responsibly.
That's what it comes back to. Any life issue, I find that's what it comes back to is balance.
Yeah.
Like you can overdo anything. You can overdo anything.
Uh-huh.
And I think that we're people that like to overdo things.
That's why we're good at the
So-
things that we like because we overdo them
Yeah.
until we're successful at them,
Yeah.
which is a blessing and a curse. But you're right. I mean, I remember I was on a fucking pretty heavy 2CI trip when I came to the conclusion that life is all about balance.
Yup.
I remember saying that before I ended up in the hospital, and then things got dark. But
But then it balanced out.
but before that, it was all I was like, life is all about balance. You can't have too much of this, you can't have too much of that. You know what I'm saying? And it seems so simple and it seems so
It's
elementary,
the most simple concept.
but you never
just
think
have
of
a
it.
little.
Just
Just
have-
have a little.
Just take as much as you need and leave the rest of the tree for
Just
someone
have a
else.
little. But there's a fucking tray of chocolate chip cookies. There's 50 of them. What's a little when there's 50 of them? 20 could be a little. 20
That's
could
me
be
with
a
a
little. If
fucking
there's
pint of
100
ice cream.
cookies and I have 20, it's a little. I'm having a little. That's the
Bro.
problem. We fucking, our heads fucking play that game. They're like, what's a
What's
little?
another one? Who's counting? Just go.
All right, that's fucking fantastic to end it on. Let's go, champ. Episode 38 in the books. Subscribe on the YouTube. Drop a comment. Let us know what's good. If you're, a simulation theory guy, or if you're an Epstein believer, whatever you got for us. We'll see you next time. Let's go, champ.